Hello teacups, welcome back. So we've had a bit of a quietish week from Foodie Beauty this week. It did kick off in dramatic style with Charlie Gold. She put a post up on her community tab, which is always a fun time for us. Basically just calling Charlie Gold a fat, pathetic hypocrite and making some points, but then Charlie Gold also uploaded a video when she didn't weigh in, so it didn't help anyone's case. Personally, I didn't cover it because the live stream she did after that community tab was 2.5 hours long, and guys, don't hate myself enough. I watched part of it. She deleted it straight after, but I watched the first sort of hour of it, and she was like, I'm deleting this because I don't want this crap on my channel, but I'm going to leave the community post up. And I was like, that doesn't make sense, because either you want to get into it or you don't. And then she left the community post up for like another day or so and then deleted that as well. So it's been scrubbed from her community tab now anyway. I didn't get into it because frankly, I think her and Charlie Gold are both as bad as each other. I don't really care who started it. I think they really get down in the mud with each other. And frankly, they're both adults. If they want to finish it, they could have finished it. So it doesn't really matter who started it. So I just didn't bother because I find it exhausting and I left it alone. Done. But Chantal is back. She was very quiet after that. She needs some time away. Now, that didn't really bode well to my mind because there are a few things going on. Last week, she did tell us about her diabetes. Now, there was some question and some confusion about the official status of her diabetes diagnosis or not, or whether she had one or not. This is how I understand it based on the information we have, just to try and clarify it for some people, but I could be wrong, yeah? So as I understand it, she has had her A1C, is it? I'm not very good with medical terms. She's had her blood sugars over a period of time, which is either, I think is A1C, taken. Somebody found an old comment where a couple of years ago it was like 5.8, which could indicate prediabetes. But she has her bloods taken periodically at the doctor. She probably would have had it done before her surgery, and you know, you get checked in on. So she also has a home blood testing kit. And her home blood testing kit, she said, was going like between the high 5s and kind of 6. And that sort of indicated prediabetes, and we talked about that in my previous video. Was it my previous one? In one of my recent videos. And so she's been doing home testing, and recently her sugars, her morning fasting sugars have been going up to 9 or 10, which is very alarming. Now, her morning readings are not the same as her A1C. Her A1C is her bloods over time, as far as I understand. I'm not very good with the medical stuff, you guys. So when she went to a doctor to ask to be referred to a dietitian, I'm guessing they had a conversation about that, because her doctor then told her that her last set of bloods that were done 2 or 3 months ago did indicate prediabetes. And so she would refer her to the diabetic clinic, and they would get more up-to-date tests done next week. Now, this was obviously last week, so this week I'm guessing she's going to the clinic and she's going to be getting bloods done, and she's going to get updated test results to see if she's got full-blown diabetes, if she's still pre-diabetic, or where she is. I think very much she can see the writing on the wall that, frankly, any doctor who had her come in with home readings that were that high, whether she ends up having full-blown diabetes or not, with her other health concerns, would be negligent not to at least mention diet to her. With the weight and the physical condition she's in, they would have to. It's such a huge factor in the development and the management of these conditions. Unfortunately, when it comes to the binge mentality and sort of the beginning of any diet, whether it's enforced by a doctor or not, I think she spent the last week being in another funeral process. The very first video I reacted to of hers was her fast food funeral, when she had this realization that she was going to have to do it for her health, and they were going to be together one more time. And this is just another version of that. So I think while she's been away, based on what I know my mentality was in those cases, based on her past behavior, and based on the fact that this new video is a juice cleanse, I would say she's been binging, and she's been binging hard for the last few days. Obviously, there is no proof of that, but she also, I have a problem with the fact that she, in her thumbnail for this, said impulsive juice cleanse. She's been talking about juice cleanses for weeks. She wanted to do that month-long one that was going to cost over $1,000. So this isn't impulsive. This is just the case of she started it. But she is doing 3 days rather than a month, which, in the fact that I don't find any juice cleanse really a realistic way to control your health, at least is realistically manageable by people. Like 3 days, maybe she can get through 3 days, but it's going to be hard whatever she does. So that's kind of where we are. We're going to see what she says here, and I don't know, let's get into it.
Hey guys, I'm back. So I checked my last video. It's actually...
Oh, I wish I hadn't stopped her scratching her nose like that. I was going to say, although this doesn't really show it, her makeup's quite pretty today. Like, obviously she's hot, she's whatever, but her lipstick, I can't show you with it frozen like that. Her lipstick looks nice on her makeup looks alright.
It's been a while for me.
There we go. It's a nice colour on her, I think, that lipstick, and her eyes aren't overdone. She's had a few cases in previous videos where she's had a really heavy eye makeup that's looked a little bit out of place. So she's making an effort here, but it's pretty.
I've been gone when I was uploading so consistently, almost daily, but I have just been doing a lot of internalizing, a lot of thinking, and
internalizing what?
I guess not doing so great overall, and
it's a shame, but yeah, I guess that was why there was no reason to remain silent, especially in the wake of the Charlie Gold thing. If she had been doing any kind of healthy pursuit of a healthy lifestyle, showing it would just have been another way to screw Charlie Gold, who apparently hasn't been. So, you know, if she could have showed it, she would have.
And so what I'm about to show you, though, is this 3-day juice cleanse.
Yeah.
I impulsively purchased.
Again, not that impulsively. It's been on her mind for a couple of weeks. She likes to put impulsive to kind of excuse the fact that she flip-flops on these things, but it doesn't. She's been thinking about it.
Hi, Sam. And I purchased it a little while ago. You have to purchase it in advance, and then they delivered it yesterday, Monday, so...
Now that's interesting. Like, as I said, she's been thinking about it, but if you have to purchase it in advance, then it's not impulsive. Like, you planned it in advance, you've just contradicted yourself. But how long ago? When she comes up with this juice fast, if anybody knows the brand or kind of what their timings are, please link it down below, mention it in the comments for me. If I can see her brand of juices, I'll try and look it up myself. I'd be interested to know, given that we have had quite regular videos from her more recently, apart from this last week, I'd be interested to know when she made the decision to purchase this juice diet, where she was in her videos when she made the decision.
I was actually gonna stay away for a while and do this in secret, and because it is mentally taxing, but I'm feeling pretty good, better than I thought I would. So I just thought, yeah, why not share with them what I'm going through. So a lot of you are probably wondering, just by the pattern on my channel, what my obsession is with.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What?
With.
What was that? Was she just getting on a chair? Is that what that was? She seems to be sitting down now. I feel like that was unnecessary to leave in the video because it's just making people target. But like, I don't understand what that was.
Juice cleanses, and it's a few things.
Okay,
one, it's more of a cycle.
Yeah. That cycle she hates to hear about. But yes, I mean, outside of the Chantal cycle that you see that came from Kiwi Farms, she does follow a pattern that many binge eaters and serial dieters follow. So there is a pattern of, naturally, when you've overdone it for whatever period of time, just wanting to completely go the opposite way.
I guess almost like a binge, weird way of like binging and purging.
Yeah, it's not weird, that's what it is.
I go through bouts of where I'm just eating complete crap and binge eating and all that. Mm-hmm. And then the juice cleanse, I feel like I need to cleanse after that. And so yeah, now there are health benefits of juice cleansing. A lot of people don't agree with it. A lot of people think it's a gimmick. Why detox your body when your liver and kidneys and lymphatic system do that?
Yep.
There's going to be supporting evidence for whatever you believe on the internet.
There is. I'm sure whoever is shilling her this diet has got a link to some health benefit or an interpretation of some study that is backing up what they're saying. I'm sure that's the case. I had a quick look into it, and basically within the field of research, it seems that the study of fruit juices on the effect of the body and juice cleanses are unreliable and very inconsistent. The findings they have are very inconsistent, because the thing with using scientific findings is you have to consider a lot of things. You have to consider the people they're studying, where they're getting their data from. Do they match your profile? You have to consider what were the limitations of the study, because every study published will have a limitation section saying we didn't look at this, further study is needed here, we cannot prove this, because that's the ultimate get out of jail free. That's what backs you up saying, oh, further study is needed. And you have to put it in, because there's no way for you to be sure of what science is going to find. You have to look at the quality of the data, whether it's peer reviewed, how it's been checked, but most importantly, and this is where I think she falls down a lot with when she references scientific study. One study can, like she says, you can find one study to back you up on practically anything. Where does that study fit in the field of study? And she doesn't look at that because she doesn't tend to look at the wider field of study. And as I've said, there are lots of inconsistencies between this in the results of this particular question. And a lot of the studies I found weren't actually looking at things that would affect her as much. Now, I could sit here and I could bring up studies that tell you, and in fact, I think I do have some on my thing still. So I did a quick search, and we've got glycemic index, glycemic load, and chronic disease risk, a meta-analysis of observational studies. Now, this is a little bit old, it's 2008. I don't know where her study's coming from, she doesn't reference it. But basically, the objective was to evaluate the association between GI, GL, and chronic disease risk with the use of meta-analysis techniques. It was a systematic review of published reports, so instead of them using new data, they were looking at what was already in the field, and their conclusions were low GI and or low GL diets are independently associated with a reduced risk of certain chronic diseases. In diabetes and heart disease, which I would say Chantal is at most risk for right now, the protection is comparable with that seen for whole grain and high fiber intakes. The findings support that the hypothesis that higher postprandial glycemia is a universal mechanism of disease progression. So essentially, if you have a high glycemic index in your diet, that it's going to encourage the development of these diseases. That's how I'm reading that. But the point is, that's how I'm reading that. I could read another study that would say something different. I could read another, I was looking at this one. The purpose of this study is to examine the association between fruit, vegetables, and fruit juice intake and the development of type 2 diabetes. This was risk of diabetes in women, because I was trying to find something a little more related to Chantal. It was looking over time, 71,000 female nurses, and it started in the 70s, and they checked with them every 4 years. The conclusion was consumption of green leafy vegetables and fruit was associated with a lower hazard of diabetes, whereas consumption of fruit juices may be associated with an increased hazard among women. But then there were other studies that said actually it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. So you can find that information, you can interpret it the way you like, but ultimately, if you don't do your research, if you don't make an informed decision based on as much of the research as you can find, and actually a lot of that research doesn't really exist at the moment, then you can't expect to reap the benefits of it.
Countering that, your liver and kidneys can get overloaded with toxins. We live in a very toxic environment with emissions, and even just your hairspray every day is not good for you. So they think that once in a while doing a little cleanse, giving your bodies a break.
Please reference your study. Who's that?
See, for me, with all the binging I do, I want to give myself, my digestive system a break. And that was my main goal here. It wasn't the weight loss, though I am keeping track of the weight loss regardless.
I understand the impulse, and I think if you do, because crap food makes you feel like crap, you guys. I can understand the appeal of being like, I'm just gonna have natural things, I'm gonna have a break from food. And she's done this before, and it's not that I don't understand the mentality. But I do think what she's saying is kind of horseshit. Some of the stuff and how she's interpreting it, I don't agree with. Would be a kinder and more reasoned way of saying that. But it's never helped her before. And the problem she's going to have with this is twofold. Ignoring all the science for a moment, any diet anywhere is going to give them the get out of jail free of only undertake this diet with the support of a doctor. Check in with your doctor first, because they don't want to get sued later. And I guarantee you she hasn't done that, because when I said results were inconsistent and I was saying how does it relate to you, she is a 400-pound woman, middle-aged, post-menopause because she had her hysterectomy. So she's got a lot of issues. She's had headaches and chest pains, so her cardiovascular system is not in great condition. She's mentioned she has high blood pressure. She had the blood clots in her lungs and is always constantly short of breath as well. So her cardiovascular system is not strong. She also has very changeable blood sugars, which are affected by her terrible diet. Yeah, she's past the point where 3 days is going to do much for her. But and on top of those physical issues, she's got the mental issues of her food addiction and her binge eating disorder. And there is no way she has gone to a doctor with both those physical and mental issues, and a doctor has gone to her and said, yeah, no, juice cleanse for 3 days, do it. So this isn't just ill thought out with all the combination of conditions she has, but it's genuinely could be dangerous for her health, both mental and physical. And this one of the reasons I don't really believe in juice cleanses anyway, but if you're an otherwise healthy person and you really want to do it, a 3-day juice cleanse is probably not going to kill you. Yeah, you're healthy enough in other ways, whether you enjoy it, whether you don't, whether you find it difficult, whether you have physical effects of it. 3 days is 3 days, it's probably not going to hurt you. But with all the conditions she has, one, it could do her some actual damage in that time with her blood sugars and all her other things. And two, mentally, that's going to put her in a terrible position with her binge eating, because she's going to want to binge. And it's just such a poor choice for her.
Hi.
Oh, she's gone back to the cat. Anytime she's saying something that makes her a little bit uncomfortable, or maybe she doesn't know how to back up, she allows herself to get distracted with Sam. And Belinda's the same thing when she is saying something a little uncomfortable, and then like Twinkie will come, oh, Twinkie star, oh, sorry guys, the light, oh, I look terrible today. Because it's a way to give you a little bit of emotional distance and a second to kind of come back, you know, and she's doing it with Sam now.
Hi, Sam. So I will show you snippets from yesterday, Monday. My juices came late. This is going to be a 3-day cleanse, but my juices came late last night. So I didn't finish my whole day's juices yesterday, but I'm going to just carry them over. So
sorry, am I understanding that right then? If yesterday was, I'm trying to get the timeline here. Yesterday was Monday, Her juices arrived late. We don't know how late, but she started them. But did she eat on Monday, or was she able to start clean with a fresh day? I'm confused a bit by her timeline there. I don't know why she wouldn't just start on a fresh day. I mean, I always say, like, if you're gonna diet, just do it now. So I suppose I can't complain that she just did it then. But especially with her, like, this idea of, oh, I'll just bring them over to this day. If it means she's gonna do half a day extra later, okay. But if it means she's gonna have those half juices in today's juices, that, like, if you're gonna do any diet, be compliant with it. That confuses me.
Yeah, so day 2, I will explain further in my video how it's going. Just wanted to do this quick intro. Yeah, like I said, body can get overloaded with toxins, the liver too. That's why you have diseases of the liver, diseases of the kidneys. Not all of them are caused by toxins, but the liver especially, you can get, overloaded. So that's when people believe that juice cleanse can help. Now, some people think it's not true, it's a gimmick. That's up to you to decide. I'm not advising anyone to do this. It is very, very difficult, especially if you have an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say something else, but let's go to that. Like, again, especially if you have an eating disorder and then allows herself to get distracted by the cat. It's just an emotional defense mechanism there. But yeah. I mean, take it all out. Let's say the health benefits are there. In her case, I think the risks far outweigh the positives of her completing a juice fast. Put it that way. But for her binge eating, this is gonna be terrible.
Okay. Oh, he doesn't like my attention being on anyone else. Okay, Sam.
Yeah, all right.
So it's just up to you. Like I said, I paid for this. It's expensive.
Oh.
A 3-day juice cleanse was over $200, maybe $250.
Seriously? Oh, 200 and, I mean, she said maybe 250, so yeah, 250, like, if she's mentioning it. Oh, I need to find that brand. I need to go and see their website and see what she's talking about. So if anyone's got it, please do. If this is the same company, when she was going to do the 30-day one, it was going to be $1,000. So the 3-day one is even more expensive because $250, that's the equivalent of 12 days. Why does she waste so much money on this crap, you guys? I mean, I know what it is. I mean, fundamentally, it's desperation. You're just desperately trying to do something. I do not think it is a coincidence at all that she is due a visit at her doctor's to get her bloods done, and impulsively now she's doing a juice cleanse. I think she's had a very bad past week eating, and now she's trying to do anything that she believes will improve her numbers when she goes to the diabetic clinic. But $250 on juice. I mean, it seems excessive to me.
So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I'm mad at myself. I'm impulsive, and I'm gonna follow through with whatever I impulsively do because that's the only way I'm gonna learn.
That hasn't
so
been the
I'm
case.
gonna really just try. I just keep telling myself it's only 3 days. You're not gonna starve and die.
If you are determined to do it, then yeah, it's only 3 days. I mean, from the sound of it, she's already halfway through. So at this point, whatever I think of the decision, if you're determined, might as well.
You're going to be okay. So I'm going to show you these 3 days, and we're going to just do a little vlog, I guess, about how I'm going with that. So
all right,
I'm going to film. This is going to be the 2 days, and then I'll get the other day in the next video I do for you guys, because I want to put something out. I don't want to wait the full 3 days.
I think she's maybe not sure she's going to make it through the 3rd day. This appears to be day 2 that she's on right now, but that's assuming she's counting the day she started late as day 1. Again, I'm confused, but so long as she's been successful, she wants to show it, which I can't blame her for, because she's had so many times where she hasn't even got through day 1 recently. I'm sure she wants to show some kind of success on it, but I'm very unsure about all of this.
Yeah, so there you have it. All right, guys, so I'm about to go for a walk, and I'm going to take you guys with me.
Day 1 waiting. Okay. I saw she got this new talking scale. Oh, I don't need the boots, thank you. Just step on it, usually, isn't it?
Is that 0?
Body weight is 399.4 pounds. Body weight
There you
is
go.
399.4 pounds.
Can I just give her a little bit of credit here? Usually we have kind of just a picture of the scale and a cutaway, and she's done the thing. She put a camera there, she sat on it. Now what her weight was this week is a whole nother story, because her old scale went up to 400 and then she bought this new one. So at some point she was clearly over 400, even now she's 399.4. But you know what? She's not now. It's pointless poking at her for being over 400 at that point. You know, it's still around 400 pounds. It doesn't matter. No need to make her feel worse. But I do appreciate the fact that she's not messing with the scale here. She's got the talking one so you can hear it. Like, she did the thing.
Sam was scared of it.
I do also think the reason she did the thing is just to screw it to Charlie Gold. Because Charlie Gold didn't.
The scale voice. So it's not really good clothes.
I mean, at this point, are there any good clothes for what you're looking at? I think she's saying that. I didn't mean that to come off as mean as it sounded. Sorry. When good clothes, when you're weighing in, tend to be light clothes. And also she wants to show you her shape. So her clothes right now, she's holding the back of them to have them flush to her skin because she wants you to see her body shape. That's what she means by not good clothes. But it always surprises me because she purposely takes so many of her photos directly from the front, just how much of her weight she holds here. And holding weight around the abdominal is frequently seen in insulin resistant people, and it also gives you an increased risk for developing complications. It's just a very dangerous part of the body to hold weight on. But it's always a bit surprising to me because of the angles we usually see her from, just how far forward she carries her weight. And it does make me worry for her health in more acutely than just generally her state of health. She's so out of breath. See from the front there? Like, she was holding her clothes tight, but the moment she turned, she did not look that size.
Alright, so far, yeah, I'm feeling like
So this is from
really
day one.
hungry already. My body's like, give me the food, high fat, high sugar food that you normally give me every day.
Coffee. I mean, it's normal that cravings will get you.
And like, I really want to order Taco Bell right now, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll bet.
I'm trying not to think of that. Thinking of my end goal, I have a trip to the Dominican Republic that I really want to go to in February, and I keep putting money deposits on it, so I don't want to lose all that money.
Sorry, I coughed through the last bit. I was just saying it's nice that she is mentioning her trip. She's obviously still paying the installments on it. At this point, whether she goes on it or not, like, there's talk about COVID still being around at that time well into next year, so who knows if she'll actually go on the trip. But until it comes, she has to act as if she will. I mean, she's paying for it. She's obviously got intentions of doing it, whether she regrets it or not. But it's good to keep a goal in mind, you know? Even at the size she is, she could feel a lot better in herself and have a lot more mobility by the time February rolls around, if she does stick to anything. But as ever, it's the sticking to things that's the problem. So I'm guessing these are the juices. I can't see the name of the juice people.
Alright,
brand.
so I've got all of my
Juice people.
juices. You get
Oh, what's that? Renew Meadow. Okay, I'll look it up.
5 juice, 500 ml, and 1 homemade nut milk per day.
So it's the same
So
company
in my
as
3 days,
the
I have 2 in
30
the
one.
freezer because these are kind of, they're not as cold as I'd like. And I guess I was supposed to start tomorrow, Tuesday. Today's Monday. I haven't eaten anything all day, just water.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping to start today, but I didn't factor in the late delivery. So I'm gonna start in on these tonight because I go to bed pretty much in the morning and sleep like throughout the day, and then I'm up all night. So it's gonna be kind of reverse for this. But yeah, so I need to fill my water thing.
Oh. Is that all they're getting from day one? Here are the juices. I mean, she was saying her cravings were quite bad, and I can see why she wouldn't want to sit there and talk about them, because that would just make it harder to deal with them. So this is day 2 weigh-in.
Alright guys, so I'm gonna step on the scale.
Body weight is 394.4 pounds.
That's a big loss.
Body weight is 394.4 pounds.
Well, there you go. So that's quite an impressive loss overnight. I was trying to find a study particularly on juice cleansers, and there was a study among Korean women of this lemon palm sugar juice thing. They did. And what it said was that these were people who had on average a 1,310 calorie diet. And then they did the juice fast for 3 days, and they went and did 2 weeks of their normal diet. Now, what a normal diet is, the genetic profile of the participants, like whether it applies to Chantal or not, but it said on average they saw more weight loss, because you will have initial weight loss with this. Of course you will. You're not eating. And it was about, 1.2 kilograms, which is about 3 pounds, something like that, between 2.5 and 3 pounds over 3 days, which is a lot over 3 days. And that with 2 weeks of a regular diet, they were able to maintain that loss. So it's not that juice cleansers can't make you lose weight, and that was an average. Obviously, with Chantal being a lot heavier, she's losing a lot more initially. That relied on them going back to a balanced 2-week diet of an average of 1,300 calories. Because on this, if she's got was it 6 juices in a nut milk or 5 juices in a nut milk? If you take those as 200-ish calories each, that's a 1,200 to 1,300 calorie diet. That is fine. She is going to lose weight on that amount. It's how miserable and the other health concerns that she's going to trigger while doing it that's the problem. But 5 pounds is an impressive weight loss overnight.
394.4. And I have a really funny story. For you guys. So last night I was watching TV, and all I hear is the voice. Body weight is 15 pounds. Body weight is 15 pounds. It was Sam. He was sitting on the scale.
Guys, I don't have cats. Is 15 pounds an okay weight for a cat? I mean, I know Sam is pretty big, but 15 pounds, that's over a stone. A cat's meant to be that size. Is that normal? I don't know what breed of cat she has. I don't recognize these things, but how much of a weight is he supposed to be? Because it might be Sam needs to be on a little bit of a diet here. And I thought she said that he didn't like the voice, but I mean, he could have been shocked by the voice, who knows. But that must have been a bit creepy to suddenly have 15 pounds in the background.
I said, your body weight is big. Anyways, 394.4 pounds.
I think that's pretty cool.
That's a significant weight drop since yesterday. But it is day 2.
I've been pooping my brains out. She couldn't just have left it. It's a significant weight drop. I mean, we can infer that you have got very little fiber in your diet and no bulk. Of course you're going to be. You probably had diarrhea since you began this, and that's not even counting your own usual bodily problems. But you don't need to, just don't tell us.
Of this juice thing. So that's a pretty big loss, but again, I know I'll gain it back once I start eating, or at least most of it probably.
You might. It depends how much of it is water weight, but think how many calories it takes for her to maintain her weight versus how many calories she's taking in these few days. Legitimately, she could lose weight here. She genuinely could, and she could keep it off, assuming she goes to a healthy diet, which I'm guessing is what the doctor would give her, versus the fast food binging she does.
Because it's not You know, obviously if you're not eating, you're gonna lose weight. But overall, I feel like I have a lot more energy to the point where I want to go for a walk.
Is that a new Fitbit? Did she have a Fitbit before? That looks new. I haven't seen that on her before. But I'm like, did she need a new? It's her money to spend. Like, gadgets won't do the job for you. But if gadgets help you to do the job, then it's your money to spend, I suppose is what I should say there.
Felt very sick. I have lipstick on my teeth. I felt pretty sick last night.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I had to run to the washroom a lot. So
I can believe that.
One of the side
Pure
effects
sugar
is running
in your
to the
system.
washroom for number 1 and number 2 because you're having a lot of liquid. And what else happened? I had a bad headache for most of the night.
Yep, no food.
I was very hungry and I was obsessing about food.
All these things are not unexpected, but at least she's being somewhat honest about it. Usually when she does these, she's very much, oh, I feel very hydrated and no, I'm in a very zen place about it, because she wants to be one of those girls on the internet. But she is being a little bit more honest about it now, which is something.
Couldn't stop thinking about food.
And to be fair to her, that isn't, not being able to stop thinking about food is not specific to Chantal. It's not because she's fat. I have tried to do liquid diets before. There's a pouch reset diet you can do as a gastric surgery patient to help try and get the tightness back in your pouch so that you are satisfied on less food. Liquid diets of any kind make me miserable. I wouldn't do it with like a third of my stomach still intact. So how she did it is quite impressive.
Right now, not so bad. I'm gonna have one of my juices and see how it goes. Let's get to. It's extremely humid, so I'm waiting for the sun to go down. I'm gonna go for a walk in the evening for a drive and a walk.
Not a drive.
I have my lucky pickle pin on. So what I'm gonna have now is called Wake Up. It is grapefruit, fennel, apple, lemon, and ginger, raw, fresh, organic. They don't add sugar to these. Yes, it has natural sugar. But let's taste it. I like these bottles. I'm gonna keep them, fill them with my own juice, or like green juice, or filtered water. The cap just comes off.
Okay.
Bottoms up.
I mean, it's juice. I'm sure it's gonna taste good. What? Oh, she doesn't like
My
it.
back is hurting as I stand here, but it's okay. Oh wow, it's really good. Grapefruit tastes like grapefruit.
She did not seem sure about it being so good. She was like, oh, my back's hurting. I mean, I'm sure it is, but her face, I freeze framed it on. That's what her brain did to her when she tasted that.
Juice. Taste a bit of the fennel, but
Fennel
mostly
seems
the
like a weird
grapefruit.
choice.
Very refreshing first thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna have that. I'll see you guys soon.
As long as you're
So I'm
happy.
gonna take you on a walk with me.
Okay.
And I haven't decided if I'm gonna put music while I'm walking. More than
You
likely.
get copyright striked.
I don't know, we'll see. Maybe a mix of both because I do huff and puff and blow your house down.
Yeah, she's sitting and
while
she's
I'm
huffing and
walking.
puffing.
So it's a bit embarrassing, but
I think that's fair. She gets a lot of shit for how heavy her breathing is, and you can see just sitting there, she is actively out of breath. Like, I want her to be very careful when she's exercising, but walking, I think, is a better choice than her stairs, because she's going to seriously damage her joints doing her stairs. And if she wants to put music over her breathing to make her feel more comfortable with it, I'd rather she was walking. I really wish she wasn't driving to walk, because driving is such a trigger for her. And to be honest, with the amount she's physically capable of walking, she could go out her front door, she could do a walk around her parking lot, around her local area, because she's not going to be going very far, and she could get just as many health benefits from the increased steps as she could from driving far away.
I just keep telling myself, whatever, you know.
Yeah,
I'm at least trying to change it.
Exactly.
So-
Okay. No, credit to her. She is trying to change it, and as alarming as her breathing gets, not trying is never going to change it. So, you know, credit where it's due.
I'm gonna pack with me my backpack.
Need to pack? She's not hiking.
Which is good for hiking like that, because
Yeah, but-
you know, you don't have to carry.
But she's not hiking. If she was doing an all-day hike, put a backpack on and put stuff in. But let's be honest, she's going to be walking down the street and back. Walking is extremely hard for her. I'm not trying to shame her with that right now, but she's not going to be going far enough that she needs a backpack for anything.
Purse. Need some right now.
What's this? What is that?
Thermal spring water.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So I'm guessing you paid for that thermal fucking spring. Speak about fads and useless things. Also, can I ask, that smug face, thermal spring water. Can I ask, if it's super humid, is spritzing a mist of water necessarily going to help that? Because surely like a fan of some kind is going to do you more good. Because you're already sweaty, having water in the air isn't the issue. Is the water going to be refreshing, or is it just going to add to that?
Goes in. I'm gonna fill this with cold water, my swell bottle.
Okay.
It's small enough. My coldie is mostly for
It's
here.
massive
which I
and
do love
completely
at home,
difficult
but-
to hold.
And a cloth. These are the erase your face cloths. That's all I had right now clean.
Okay.
So should wipe
Oh,
up it.
again, I'm glad she's not using that as an excuse. Clearly, she's bought some things here. If that Fitbit is new, then she's bought that. She's bought the juice. She's done whatever. But she hasn't used the fact that a new towel hasn't come in to stop her from at least going out today. So, something, I suppose. Oh, guys, so much potential in this that gets lost. But at the same time, I can't sit here and be like, I can't believe you're doing that. When she's at least, although I think she's got some misplaced good intentions here, she does at least have good intentions, and she is at least trying, you know?
Any sweat. And I got some new sunglasses. What do you guys think?
Very nice. Guys, am I crazy? Like, obviously, because I never pause her on a flattering angle. Those kind of look good on her. Let's give her a sec.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. Sorry, guys. I'm here for it. I like those on her. Drag me in the comments. I don't care. I'm saying yes.
I got them from Aldo.
They're
Are
nice.
they nice?
Aldo is Amazon, right?
I like them. And my Fitbit. Now, I know I had a Fitbit before.
See, that's what I thought. If she had one before, why does she need a new one? She'll still have it somewhere, or has she lost it? Because if she just wants to measure steps, any Fitbit will do that.
But it really helps. I want to increase my steps.
Okay, so why not use the old one?
That's the least I can do right now. So I'm gonna bring my...
I think it's good she wants to increase her steps. I think that's going to be a very useful thing. And even if it's only incremental, an improvement is an improvement. But why do you need a new Fitbit for that if you've got an old one?
New sunglasses.
How much money
I'm
is
also
she
gonna bring
spent?
a
Well, there's a question. Let's say she's got, I think she said there were 6. I don't know if it's 6 juices and a nut milk or if it's 6 bottles total. That assumes, let's say she was eating over 12 hours. A juice every 2 hours seems like, or a nut milk, seems like a reasonable thing. So how far is she going that she needs a juice and a nut milk in her backpack when she's drinking one now? So how frequently is she drinking these?
These are the saving grace of these juice cleanses.
Okay.
It's
That's the milk.
almonds, lavender, vanilla, cinnamon, cardamom, dates,
Oh.
sea salt, filtered water.
All that sounds fine except the lavender. I would want lavender in my milk, but okay. I mean, the rest is just going to make it taste sweeter, but lavender?
So it feels like you're eating something, you know what I mean? So
I mean, I'm
I'm
sure
gonna probably
at that point you do need a change in flavor profile so that it is smart to have it.
bring that along and have it on the way. Hey guys. All right, calm my breathing down a bit.
All right.
Not a good idea. I'm here in one of my favorite spots to
Okay.
stop to go to the washroom.
Her hair's looking very long there. How fast is it growing? When did she... I mean, she's filming this now, so it's post-haircut, but wow.
Go for a walk. Hey, I bring my toilet paper because honestly, drinking these juices, man, you gotta go. Like,
Ugh.
that's the thing.
You guys, she said before that she'll just, she'll go out in the woods and go. But one, it's gross. But two, like, so you're just leaving dirty toilet paper out there? Like, every time she mentions this, it gets grosser.
It's so humid. I can't, there's no, I feel like there's no air.
That's why I don't think the spray would help.
My AC on. Actually, I wanted to have the windows down in this part so I can take in the fresh air and that. But honestly, it's just so humid. And today of all days, there's a heat warning, but I tried walking up there a little bit and I'm just too lightheaded and have a headache. My breathing is not good, so I think before I start in with the walking, where there's no benches, I'm just gonna have to take it slow.
Yeah, I mean, none of that's a surprise. She was saying that she was having headaches, which I'm guessing is connected to the food she's consuming right now, the fact that juices are going to spike her blood sugar and then cause it to crash. So she's either going to have to keep a constant line of these juices going to keep her blood sugar high, or she's going to have to eat something that's slower release, because juice isn't slow release. That's the big issue here, and that's what I was talking about when I say we'll go to a doctor, get his okay, because no doctor would have okayed that for that reason. But she did say, I stopped it because I wanted to listen to what she was saying. Just then, she was drinking a juice and then she was like, oh, I'm going to drink the nut milk on the way. I'm like, how far was she going?
Maybe lose a bit of weight first, do sitting exercises for now.
Yeah.
I just need to do what I know exercise is supposed to be a bit uncomfortable, but gasping for air is probably not normal. So
no, I think find something that challenges you without killing you and be consistent in it. And consistency is always the issue. But sitting exercises at home, yes. Don't drive out all the way to the middle of nowhere, which gives you bathroom issues because it's too far away because you're incontinent. And then you have no benches. Walk around your apartment block. Then you can go into your apartment, you can use the bathroom if you need to. You can sit on your step. You can wait a minute and then you can do it again if possible. Stop walking out to these hiking trails that you're not capable of hiking on, and fit something in that you can do consistently, because that's how you're going to see the progress.
It just scares me, and plus my back, I need to take it step by step when it comes to exercise. So
build up to it.
But definitely I'm gonna wait till I'm done this friggin' juice thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. At this point, I think it's kind of dangerous for her to be pushing her body in any sense while on such unreliable nutrition.
Driving, yeah, it's kind of a trigger.
Yeah.
Because I like to drive and get food.
Yeah.
But what I've discovered is I do have a juice with me. Which I'm gonna have soon. Where is it? It is still cold.
Okay. So if it's still cold, she hasn't gone very far because it would have warmed up. So how frequently are you drinking these?
Scarlet. So it's beet, apple, lemon, ginger, and there's no one on this road, so don't worry. But
that sounds quite nice. I would say the camera's a little bit bumpy because it's a gravel road. Don't drink it now. You're wearing a white shirt. If you spill any of that down it's not going to come out. Beet, be there forever.
That's why I like coming here. There's no one, there's forest, but what I've discovered about going for drives, and I don't come here all the time. I'm not going to come here regularly, maybe once a week, but I find it's the drive I like. It really is. I've said this before, but it really it just clears my mind. I just feel connected with the nature. I feel connected to it.
You have said that before, and I haven't believed you before, because it's an opportunity for food, which we have discussed, we won't get back into, but also you hate nature. Every time you go out in nature, you're like, oh, there are bugs and I don't want to go outside and it's so hot, and you can admit, okay, nature's pretty. I think nature is pretty. I'm very much an indoor girl. Yeah, I will go to the gym and I will admire nature from a distance. that's fine. Be who you want to be. But communing with nature is not your strength and it isn't something you seem to enjoy when you're experiencing it.
And I just feel so far removed from it when I'm away, like in my place and everything. I don't have the AC blaring right now, and if it was nature, it would be pretty brutal if I had to live in nature. But you know what I mean? It's just, it's so peaceful, you know?
I think that is ultimately what she wants from it. I've mentioned before, she seems to have a need to run away from her life. And so she idealizes the idea of getting away to nature as a way to do that. But she just brings the problems that bother her when she's at home and she thinks about them with her wherever she goes. So if she moved to nature, she'd have those same things and then she'd want to get back to the city. She just wants something that's different from what she's got. And she looks for it in not always the right places.
I just, I'm not really craving things as bad. Like I have had moments driving where I'm like, feel depressed because I just want to eat something while I'm driving.
You wanted to get food.
Because it adds to that calming effect, but...
I just want to eat something while I'm driving, that's what I'm telling you.
There's a trail in that forest and I'm not going down it, that's for sure.
Loves nature, does she?
I mean, I stepped out to use the washroom and there were so many bugs bothering me, like they just wait. It's like a heavily forested area, so they just like, bing, mosquitoes
I'm
and
sure
all
it's
kinds
true,
of bugs,
but...
and I'm just like, go away! Leave me alone! I have a headache. I have a headache. I'm going to the washroom a lot. I'm so hungry. There's moments where it gets okay, and I have bouts of energy, but for the most part, I don't stop thinking about food and being hungry and wanting to eat.
At least she's been honest.
But I am craving like a big salad. I can't get my mind off that. With like barbecue chicken in it. Instead of croutons, those Parmesan crisps. I'm gonna make the first thing I eat, I swear. So I am craving.
I think when she thinks of this food, like saying, oh, Parmesan crisps instead of croutons, you know, it's just a way for her to kind of move on to justifying, okay, well, if I have some food, at least it's healthy food. I think it's kind of a dangerous way for her to think. I'm sure she really wants it right now, but having made it to the end of day 2, just do day 3, because if one thing you could say about this, as much as I don't agree with her doing it, the sense of achievement she would have at the end of day 3 if she managed it could be very motivating for her, and that would be something.
Healthier food, so that's a good, anyway, that's what I'm craving. I'm craving like healthier food, whole food, which is a good sign, instead of my usual garbage, you know?
At this point, your body wants any food you can give it, so yeah, it's gonna crave whatever nutrients it's currently missing.
So, anyways, I'm happy that I'm forcing myself to go through with this instead of wasting my money again. But like,
I mean, a better way to not waste your money would be to not purchase this in the first place, I think. I think there are definitely better places that money could have gone. But yeah, if you've committed to it, whether a good or a bad idea, at least you are doing it.
Do this again? Probably not. Honestly, it's so hard. It's like, it feels like torture, I swear. It's bad. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't feel like really depressed like I normally do, which is weird. Like I still feel good mentally.
I mean, you're
I just
achieving
feel
something,
kind of like,
so...
oh god, this is hard. It's not what I'm used to, you know? Anyway, alright, I'm gonna shut up now. And I'll let you see some of the scenery. And like I said, tomorrow will be day 3 of my juice thing. So
okay.
I will, next time I have a video, I might just wait till Thursday to do another video because I have to go out. Oh.
So I'm guessing, based on what I think the timeline is, her having to go out will be her diabetic clinic visit? Or I'm assuming that her blood test and her diabetic clinic visit are one and the same. She did say she was getting blood tests this week, not diabetes clinic. So if they're the same place, we might get an update on that. If it's a different place, I don't know. I don't know how long referrals take, but she is quite an urgent case, so who knows. But I'm guessing it's something to do with that.
I got a new mask. Nice flower mask. with some filters because it is now mandatory when you're going anywhere inside to wear a mask. And anywhere
Good.
that's near people, I'm just going to wear my mask.
It's probably best.
So,
If you think she's going to survive a bout of COVID, oh, no. Wear a mask.
yep. So I got a mask for my grandma and I.
Okay.
So yeah. Alright, anyway. I feel like I feel like I need more sleep. Like I slept so long last night. Like I woke up and I was like, no, more sleep. So I feel just like my body's just like, you know.
I mean, if she's on a juice diet without the bulk and the other nutrients and the other things fueling her, I'm guessing she is feeling very lethargic through it, which would explain her need for more sleep.
Alright, so guys, I'll let you see the scenery a little bit, and then I will probably end the video for today. I'm sorry I couldn't go for a walk. Well, I tried going for a little walk, but I didn't really feel much. So I apologize, and it's because
If you tried.
it's just huff.
I mean, you did say you were going to put music over your huffing and puffing, so we could have seen it, but I'm guessing that she couldn't do as much as even she thought she could, with it being quite a low bar, and it was embarrassing. And fair play to her. There's no reason to purposely embarrass yourself online with that. I mean, she's trying something. Why paint the target on her back for that?
And I'm puffing way too much. So, anyways, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Okay, everybody, that's where we are. So I don't think the juice cleanse was a very good idea, but in so much as she was determined to do it, at least she's doing it. I think given that she's chosen to do it, I'd like to see her finish it, because I think the two positives she could take from it were, one, whatever initial weight loss she gets from it, because it doesn't hurt her to lose as much weight as possible right now. Well, I say it doesn't hurt her, obviously. I've just talked about all the ways it could hurt her to do it like this, but if you're determined to do it, at least reap the benefits, and it would be great for her motivation to see that weight loss, and I think it would be great for her motivation to have finally seen, even as a 3-day thing, to have finally seen something through and said, I plan to do this and I achieved it. I think that would have a great mental effect on her. But I've discussed all the ways I think this is a bad idea. I think this was not well suited to her needs. And I really hope she updates us with the doctor, because I'd like to know if she's got a formal diagnosis of diabetes and what her future plan is. But for now, we'll let her get through day 3 and we'll see what happens. All right, thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.